So, are you planning to move to Hawaii, but you've never been to the islands and you don't know where to start? So, there are many things you need to know about moving to Hawaii, but I would like to tell you probably the most important ones, the ones that I find important. And those are 20 things you need to know before you move to Hawaii and pack your bags. I personally am not from Hawaii. I'm from Europe, and I came here to the islands years ago without knowing anybody or anything about the island or the real estate. So that's the reason I decided to make this video for you and give you my perspective and the things that I didn't know about Hawaii, that I find them informative and I think they will be helpful for your move to Hawaii. So how does it sound? Okay, so let's start with number one, the weather. See, the weather is perfect. Right now it's March. Sometimes in the mainland you have winter storms, it's cold. Right now it's like 77 degrees. It's perfect. And right now I'm at Kapiolani Park, and this is Waikiki over there in the background, and this is just a nice walk around the water. So the reason I say the weather is perfect the year round is you have a consistent weather. So for example, in summer months it's like in the higher 70s, in the winter months is the lower 70s. So the reason I mention that and I find that important is I speak with a lot of people who move to Hawaii, and half of them, they don't like the fact that you don't have seasons. So some of them miss the weather, the leaves changing, you know, they miss the autumn, they miss the cold. I personally don't miss the cold. I love this weather all the time. So for me, Hawaii is just perfect. But that's why I decided that's a number one thing for you to consider before moving to Hawaii. Another thing that I found interesting and I didn't know about is there are two sides of the island, the windward side and the leeward side. Windward, that's the rainy side of the island. So this is Kaneohe, for example. So if you're considering daily dose of sunshine, probably Kaneohe wouldn't be a neighborhood you would consider. And the other part of the island, that's the leeward part of the island. The leeward part of the island is the west part of the island, and it's generally hotter and drier. Another thing that I found interesting is everything is more expensive than what you imagine. So for example, my experience with coming to Hawaii, when I went to the grocery store and I looked at the prices and I'm like, how do people afford to eat in Hawaii? And after living here for so many years, I'm used to it, but it could be a shocker right from the beginning. So for example, just to give you an idea, a normal price for tomatoes, a pound of tomatoes is, let's say, $5, $6, $7, depends on what brand and organic or not. Milk is, for example, around like $9. Eggs are around $9. So definitely pricey. I have people that call me from the mainland and they are asking me, okay, how expensive it is. So what I would advise is just go to Whole Foods, and what the prices there in Whole Foods are, I assume probably they're the same here in Hawaii, since this is a chain. And Whole Foods in Hawaii is probably one of the less expensive grocery stores. So just to give you an idea of how expensive groceries are in Hawaii. Depending on where you live, you have to plan your life around traffic. So what I advise my clients moving from the mainland, if you don't want to commute, live where you're close to work. H1 is the highway that connects the east with the west side of the island, and that's where most of the traffic occurs. Sometimes during normal rush hours, like 3-4 p.m., some distance can take from half an hour can take you up to an hour. Something about the local culture that I find interesting. Everybody calls each other auntie and uncle, even when they're not related. So for example, when I first moved to Hawaii, I was in my 20s, and I didn't feel okay with young kids approaching me and call me auntie. And I'm like, I'm not auntie, I'm young. But that's how the culture is. So okay, eventually I learned, and I'm not in my 20s anymore, so it's okay for kids to call me auntie. And when you're into traffic and if you yield to somebody to merge into the traffic, people give the Shaka. They are very grateful and give the Shaka. Even the buses, they have the mahalo with the Shaka sign, so when you let the bus merge. Also, locals always ask, what school did you go to? So that's very normal. That's how they connect. And look at that bird. I think that bird is so cute. Oh, it's pretty. So there are 4 directions in Hawaii. There is Ewa, Diamond Head South, Mauka, and Makai. Mauka is towards the mountain and Makai is towards the ocean. The homes in Hawaii are older, built in the 60s or 70s or earlier, so they have jalousie windows. And I never knew what jalousie windows were before I moved to Hawaii. And the reason people have jalousie windows is they wanted to take advantage of the trade winds. So the trade winds are the winds that you constantly, right now we have a gust of trade winds. I don't know if you can hear it, but the trade winds is what keeps Hawaii cool. So the alphabet in Hawaii, did you know that it has only 13 letters? So because of that, there are a lot of words that has a, o, u, a, u. And a lot of the words, for me, they are very hard to pronounce. Another thing that people don't know, and for example, Ewa, the neighborhood. Ewa is spelled E-W-A. So if from the US mainland, you pronounce it Ewa. But in Hawaiian language, W in the middle is pronounced V. So for example, Hawaii, it's not Hawaii, it's Hawaii. Another mispronounced word is Like Highway. And Like is spelled L-I-K-E, L-I-K-E. And a lot of people, if you've never been to Hawaii, you pronounce it like. And it's Like. And when I first came to Hawaii, of course I pronounced it like, because I didn't know, I had no clue. So, what do you think? Are you shocked? Or did you knew that? And the number one thing what I like about Hawaii is the nature and the hikes. I like hiking, and there are no snakes in Hawaii. So years ago, they had the mongoose here. Unfortunately, the mongoose are invasive species, but they brought them in so they can kill all the snakes on the island. So right now, there are no snakes. So if you go hiking, you can hike without any fear that a snake can appear. And if you're moving to Hawaii, you probably want to know something about the real estate, correct? So about the real estate, every neighborhood is different. Every neighborhood has a different vibe, different price point. So it's very important before you move to Hawaii to do your own research. And of course, in this channel, since I'm a realtor, what I do is I'll showcase different neighborhoods. And what I do is I walk along the street so I can showcase you what this neighborhood feels like. So if you have any questions, of course, and you've never been here and you want to know which neighborhood could fit your lifestyle, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help. You can call me. My contact info is in the description below. A lot of people call me and they are, oh, this 2-bedroom apartment is only $100,000. I want to buy it. And I'm like, okay, before you buy it, just to let you know, there's leasehold and fee simple. And people don't know about that. What's a leasehold? Leasehold, it used to be very common here in Hawaii back in the days. And the reason it became popular is because there were large landowners, and what they did is they allowed, for example, a condominium to be built on their land. And because they allowed for the condominium to be built, what they do is they lease the land to the people who own the condos. So a leasehold is pretty much you own the unit itself. You can buy, you can sell a unit, you have the right to use the unit, you can rent it out, you can renovate it, you can do whatever you would like to do with the unit. However, you don't own the land underneath, so you have to pay a lease rent to the landowner. So there are not that many leaseholds left in Hawaii. Primarily they're here in Waikiki. But when in doubt, and if you have any more questions about the leasehold, feel free to reach out. You can leave a comment or call me. Another interesting thing, and shocking I would say, is a lot of older homes, they're single wall construction. Single wall is not up to code anymore, of course, so all new construction is with up to code. So I have a very funny experience. I used to live in a house in New Valley, and I wanted to buy, that was years ago, maybe 15 years ago, and I wanted to buy a plasma TV, and that was back then when plasma TVs were popular. And I told my friend, oh, if I buy this plasma TV, can you mount it on the wall? And he was joking. He's like, what wall are you talking about? I'm like, this one. And he started laughing. And he's like, let me tell you why you cannot mount the plasma TV on this wall. And he literally pushed the wall, and the wall moved a little bit, and I was scared. I'm like, you're gonna break the house. So he then explained me, well, that's a single wall construction. Something to keep in mind, that you might find a house like this one, and that house is still probably gonna cost $1 million. And if you're moving to Hawaii with pets, you have to research it because there is quarantine. There are ways to bypass the quarantine. Use the link in the description below, and you can do your own research if you're bringing pets in Hawaii. Also keep in mind that if you're moving to a condominium, not all condominiums are pet friendly. So if you would like me to show you the list with pet friendly condos here in Waikiki, let me know and I can definitely provide you the list. Another thing to consider, island time is real. So if you like to move in a fast pace, and if you like everybody to be on time, deadlines to be done on time, it's a thing to consider. And the common joke here on the island is Vegas is the ninth island. So many people here in Hawaii go to Vegas. This is probably their #1 destination. A lot of local people also buy properties in Vegas. The real estate here in Hawaii is expensive, and a lot of them, they have properties there. So that's the joke. Vegas is the ninth island. What I found interesting and I guess shocking, before I came to Hawaii, I thought it is always sunshine, it's paradise, everybody drives convertibles. When I came here, only the tourists drive convertibles. Local people like big trucks, and I find that surprising. So how did you enjoy the video? Did you like it? Please show your support by liking it and leave a comment below. I would like to hear your opinion. And today is a beautiful day. So how did you enjoy the view, the background? Let me know. I would like to hear it. It's important to me. It's a new channel and I want to make my videos relevant to you. So if you're thinking about moving to Hawaii, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one, and of course always feel free to reach out. You can call me, text me, email me. I'm here to help. My contact info is in the description below. Don't be shy. I'm here to make your move to Hawaii stress-free, successful, and simple. If you're serious about moving to Hawaii, check out my next video where I break out the real cost of living here. Mahalo for connecting with me today. I really enjoyed it and I appreciate your time, and I will see you in the next video. Aloha!